Rob Woodcox, come on out. Rob, we're doing this.
We are.
Yesterday we were floating down a river,
Yeah.
and now we're here.
And now we're here. And I still have my sunburn to prove it.
Nice.
Very red right now.
Rob, you are a photographer,
Yes.
but you are a surrealist artist. Let's take down the barriers and like, where did this all come from? Where is the origin story of your photography work?
Absolutely. Well, I think ever since I was really young, like I was a dreamer. Like I was that kid, like running around the forest, like picking up sticks and rocks while the other kids were playing sports. So like,
Yeah.
I was drawing from a young age. Like I found one of my drawing pads from like probably when I was like 7 years old, and I was drawing like these castle kingdoms and like really crazy things. So from a young age, I definitely had a big imagination. I think my parents definitely fostered that a lot. They were the kind of parents that were like, go out and play till the sun's down. Y'all know that.
Yeah.
like you're not allowed to use like electronics like until, you know, the sun is set or whatever. And we
Yeah.
had like a lot of limitations. Like we didn't watch TV, things like that. So I think in my childhood I was really able to foster my imagination. And then I sort of have this stubborn personality where I'm like, if I want to do something, I'm gonna do it. So
Yeah.
as I got older, when that was combined with my imagination, I was kind of like, well, anything's possible. Like I should make that reality in my photography. So
Totally.
Yeah.
And you do it in such an amazing way. Well, let's stay with the origin story. You were born and raised in Michigan.
yes. Well, actually, I was born in Houston, Texas.
Okay.
I was adopted when I was like 6 months old. So I was brought to Michigan by my family that adopted me.
Okay.
And so yeah, I've always been very passionate about, you know, adoption, foster care. And I think that really set the tone for my life because I knew from day one that I had been kind of rescued from a bad situation. So I always had a lot of compassion for, you know, different causes and things that I have now integrated into my artwork.
Yeah.
But yeah, I grew up in Detroit. Also a very interesting place to live. I think, you know, there's a lot of abandoned buildings. It's known for its kind of fiery past of, you know,
Yeah.
violence and things like that. But what it is now is a really amazing place to foster creativity because there's not a lot of limitations. Like if you're in New York City or you're in Los Angeles, you know, you have to pay to like be on the street. Like you can't even like do a shoot anywhere without like a lot of limitations.
Right.
And in Detroit, it's like you can explore, you know, an abandoned Gothic cathedral and take pictures in there, and your mind is just going crazy. Like,
Absolutely.
yeah. So it was a really cool place to grow as an artist because, like I said, no limitations.
Yeah. And so now, if we could put up his work, so the home audience can get an idea of what we're showing you. Tell us a bit about this piece.
So I've been doing a series lately of line work on bodies, and the whole basis of that concept is interconnectivity. So the concept is that we're all connected. You know, the choices that we make affect everyone around us. And in the society that we're currently living in, there's a lot of people making really horrible decisions for the greater, you know, good. And it's requiring a lot of us to kind of step up and say, no, that's not okay. I need to be more vocal about what is right in this world. How I can support my neighbor, how I can support my friends, how I can, you know, support someone who's different than me. And so this whole series is about featuring all types of diversity, skin color, body type, you know, gender, sexuality, you know, all these things that we get boxed into categories for. And considered different or not worthy or whatever, and featuring that as beautiful, you know, kind of showcasing all of those things in one body of work and really helping people to see that beauty that maybe they're not familiar with, like,
And we're all interlinked.
Absolutely.
You know, and I've always thought about, like, I am no different from anybody. If I was born with the same genetics and upbringing, I'd be subject to the same mindset.
Absolutely.
You know, and so we are all living this experience together.
Yes.
And I think that is represented really well in your work.
Thank you.
Tell me about the headspace. So I imagine you have these ideas in your mind. What does it look like when you're developing that into a project?
Yeah, so have any of you ever like been in a dark room and like you see the photo developing? I feel like my brain is the dark room. Like,
Okay.
So like I get inspirations from so many different things. Like I could be wandering through the forest and just see a scene and be like, I need a model with like a long dress in this scene. Or I could, you know, be thinking about a breakup that I went through and want to like express that emotion in a photo, and a visualization comes to my mind. My grandma passed this year, and I have a whole series that's inspired by her life and the amazing woman that she was.
Yeah.
So yeah, I get these ideas that are inspired by emotions, experiences, dreams, and then they just kind of like develop in my mind. So I start to see the color first, and then I start to see, you know, maybe elements of the landscape or the backdrop, whatever it might be.
Yeah.
And then I can start to imagine who the characters might be, and kind of create them.
Awesome.
In my story.
Well, you're explaining this all to us, and I feel super appreciative because you have your master class that you're presenting right now. Tell us a bit about that.
Absolutely. So I'm so thankful to finally have something that kind of encapsulates my education journey, because I've actually traveled the world and taught like over 75 workshops around, I think, in like 15 different countries. So I've had an amazing experience teaching what I do, and I've always wanted to make it more accessible to more people. So I recently filmed a masterclass with an educational platform called Udemy, and they're kind of like lynda.com, if anyone's that's a more well-known platform, but Udemy is kind of like their big competitor. And they just approached me. They were seeing what I was doing with a company called 500px. That's a photo sharing platform. I was starting to do some like little tutorials for them, and they were like, hey, we love what you're doing. Do you want to make a 4-hour master class for our platform?
Nice.
I was like, I don't know, that's a lot of work. But yeah, so I have some friends locally in Portland. We produced everything here.
Cool.
We did, I think, like 6 filming days. We have this total Wes Anderson scene that's like the main talking head piece and I'm in like an orange shirt with like orange velvet backdrop.
Beautiful.
Yeah, so it's a very beautiful masterclass. Everyone should check it out.
Awesome.
And it's nice because the platform makes it super affordable for the students, which is a passion of mine, because it's like I want people to be able to access education.
Yeah, very cool. Rob, for my audience here and audience at home, how can they find your work?
My work is on my website, so robwoodcox.com. You can find my name on the Live in Portland feed. And I also heavily use social media, so...
You do?
Yeah, always on that. My Instagram is @robwoodcoxphoto, and you can just search my name on like all the other photo sharing platforms, and I'm probably on it.